Talking with the experts.
LinkedIn is a powerful and underused platform for building business-to-business connections. In episode 338, Mary Wu explains why.
And actually, I'm like, what and we can talk about this if you want to when we're talking, but one of the things that happened during COVID is everybody was home and everybody was home alone. And LinkedIn started kind of slowly and then more and more becoming a little bit more social. And as one of the LinkedIn's experts was saying the other day, it's like, we cannot put that toothpaste back in the tube. This is what it is now. And this is what we go with. Because sometimes it's determined by some guys in, they're probably not in suits, they're probably in khakis and polos.
Yeah.
Somewhere in some office, or it's determined by the users. And I think the users just determined that we needed to have conversations with people that were beyond just the business. And we started doing it there.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And while you're over on YouTube, please don't forget to click on that subscribe button and ding on that bell so that you are notified when each new video is uploaded. Now, I need to ask you, are you familiar with LinkedIn and do you know how it works? And do you know about all the changes and things that have happened recently? Well, my next guest, Mary Wu, from Mary Wu Social Media Consultant, is going to explain to us exactly why LinkedIn is really great for our business. And Mary explains that it's easy for business owners to be distracted by the latest trends or by the shiny objects. And yes, I'm guilty of that. Mary helps business owners understand what platforms their ideal client is on and what actions to take on those specific platforms. Social media should be a strong focus in any business, but it should not be the most time-consuming activity. I totally agree with that. That's where Mary can help. She gives strategies and checklists for valuable and time-saving social media actions. Welcome, Mary, and thank you so much for joining me today.
And thank you for having me, Rose. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so we were talking for ages before we started about, the LinkedIn and how it's changed, and you were explaining that through COVID, how people had changed the way that they were using LinkedIn. So perhaps you could explain to us, why that is, and what's changed with LinkedIn.
Well, LinkedIn has been around for about 10 years. I should look that up sometime, and I'll always forget. And it originally started as a place for job recruiters and job seekers to find each other. And then business people started using it to connect. And about 2 years ago, when everybody got locked down and everybody was spending all their time at home, they were still using LinkedIn to connect to each other. But what they were also doing was starting to connect at a little bit of a deeper level. So it stopped being all the high level business to business stuff, and people started to get to know each other a little bit better. They started to share a little bit more, and I think it's because they had nobody to talk to except for maybe their husband and the dog or something. And what we've been talking about this lately, and it's like the toothpaste is out of the tube, it's not going back in. So LinkedIn is a professional network, but it is also becoming a social network.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people posting, and we had that discussion as well about people posting, what they eat and pictures of their pets and all sorts of other things, where traditionally it was a business network where, those things weren't really done or talked about.
They weren't, and now they are. And if you're smart, you can do it the right way and bring in a little your personality. So every now and then, I am not professionally on Instagram at all, but I did a reel of my dog trying to learn how to get through a new dog door. And I took that and I put it up on LinkedIn and talked in that about the sales process, how I had something he really wanted. In order for him to get it, he had to be trained to come through the door. I had to be patient and wait for him to do it at his timing. And I was kind of surprised at how much impressions I got from that post of my dog coming through a door. We love videos. Everywhere we want to see videos, and it was a video, so people were watching it. And my dog is quite adorable, so of course people watched it. I would not just fluffily put up some of the other things. I might do a video of my dog laying in the sun with a Beatles song playing. His name is Lemon, so naturally we do Beatles songs.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I've noticed video on all social platforms really is the way to go, more than static posts these days. People are more interested in movement and, people talking to them rather than just having, some meme or a long post somewhere.
Well, it's important not to just have fluff, because if you're not showing somewhat of your professional side has to kind of show up everywhere on LinkedIn. It's not, you might build a know, like, and trust factor, but it might be knowing that you have a dog and liking that you have a dog. I want you to know that I have a dog, but also know that I know how to help you using your social media. So it can't all be about the dog, no matter how cute they are.
Yes, it's true. You've got to mix it up. You have some personal content, have some business content, but yeah, video seems to be the way to go. And a lot of people now are doing lives on LinkedIn. I'm not quite sure how reliable they are, but what are your thoughts on that?
I like lives on LinkedIn, but I tend to never watch them live. So a lot of people are doing lives on LinkedIn, and I love some of the interview shows that are happening there. But I know a LinkedIn expert in the UK, and she'll do stuff which ends up at being 4 a.m. my time. And I like you, but I'm going to catch the replay on this one. And even if you're doing a live and nobody is there live with you, that doesn't mean people aren't coming up later and watching your stuff. It's the same way as it is with a Facebook Live for your business page or an Instagram reel. Somebody might not see it now, but they might see it later on.
So I guess having Facebook Lives at 4 o'clock and people watching replays, gets more engagement for your business anyway, doesn't it?
I do not care when you watch my videos, as long as you watch them and comment on them and engage with them.
Have you found
it's actually it's actually one of the things I'll be starting soon. I haven't been doing lives, and I'm going to start doing them. I don't love myself on camera, but I know it's so valuable.
Have you found LinkedIn Lives are a bit glitchy compared to other social platforms?
A bit what?
Glitchy, so they don't operate, they stop and start, and they're not as smooth as, say Facebook or Instagram.
Well, LinkedIn has to have you go in through something else right now, and it all depends on what you go in through. And so different things have different juice to them. And then sometimes what people are doing with their LinkedIn lives is they're using a platform where they're going on LinkedIn, they're also going on YouTube, they're also going on Facebook. And I think when you've got a lot of things going on in the background, it makes the technology go, what? So you have to be really with it on your technology.
Yeah, and getting back to using LinkedIn, it is a very, very powerful and underused platform for building business to business connections. How can we better use LinkedIn to get, more engagement with other businesses?
Well, one of the things to do is to be consistent. I've had a lot of people tell me that LinkedIn doesn't work for them. And then I'll go and look and see they might post once a month, and then they might post a couple of times the next month. Then they'll take 3 months off. And then they say it doesn't work for them. Consistency is so important because it takes time for people to trust your content. Also, reaching out to people that might be interested in your content, or people that you just want to learn from them. But it's all about slow building of relationships. And I love for people to come on and comment on my posts, but in order for me to get that, I actually have to take the time to go out and comment on other people's posts. And comments are, from the analytics point of view, it's 4 words or more and thoughtful comments. It's not just, go in the comments and say yes if you agree, because if they see a list of comments all with 1 word and it's the same word, the bots are like, we don't like that. They want thoughtful comments.
So more than 4 words. All right, I'll keep that in mind for future, because I've usually just put, thank you for posting, or thanks for sharing, or something like that. So I'll have to add a bit more to it.
Thank you for sharing 4 words.
Yes, yeah, but sometimes I just say thanks, so not rather than thank you. Another thing that profiles, LinkedIn profiles. Now, is it meant to be a resume, or is it meant to be something else?
It depends on what you're there for. For the people that are there for jobs, there are still people on LinkedIn for jobs, and then it's absolutely meant to be a resume. I work sometimes with teens and college students, helping them kind of get started on LinkedIn. And for them, it is a resume. It's what, a college counselor might come in and look at. It's what a first employer might come in and look at. So then it's useful to be a resume. But for business to business, it's more about, you can think of it as a second window to your website, giving the information about who you are and what you do and who you serve and why you're the valuable one and why they want to come to you, or why they want to listen to your podcast.
Yeah, there's so many different, I guess, people. I've read a lot of different ways that you're supposed to write your profile, and as you've explained it, it makes a lot of sense. But some experts say that writing it as a resume is just not the way to do it. You're not it's making all about yourself, not about the client.
Right. So if you're looking for clients, you make it about your client. If you're looking for a job, you make it about you. And if you're in the middle, then talk to somebody and we'll try to figure out the best way to get through there.
Yeah, it makes that also makes a lot of sense. Mary, you're just full of sensical stuff today. Thank you so much.
I am pretty sensical when it comes to LinkedIn.
Yeah. So I guess there's a lot of other sort of add-on things now with LinkedIn. You can have groups, you can actually have newsletters, and all those sorts of things. What are the benefits of having a group on LinkedIn?
Groups on Facebook take work. Groups on LinkedIn take more work because people aren't used to using groups on LinkedIn, but they're an incredibly valuable way to build your community, to build the people that are either your clients or are going to be your clients. But for groups, I find often it's better to find the ones that you fit well in. And sometimes that's a trial and error. LinkedIn and groups have a weird history in that they had groups when LinkedIn owned it. Then when Microsoft came in and bought LinkedIn, they sort of ignored the groups. Then when Facebook started promoting groups, LinkedIn kind of gave a cheer at trying to promote groups, but they sort of forgot about it. And now they actually have people working to build groups in LinkedIn. So it all depends on when a group was created, whether or not it might still be active, whether it's of value. So there's really kind of a search process to find the right groups on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I tried to start a group for my own business. I found it a heap more work than Facebook. And so I just gave it up. It just seemed too time consuming.
Well, I think one of the differences between Facebook and LinkedIn is we use Facebook so much for our everyday life. It's just organically easier to understand. And LinkedIn is a little bit more clunky, might be a right
Yeah, that's what
word.
I think. It is clunky. They don't have a lot of
Until you
the
get used to it.
yeah, there's not a lot of processes that you can use in it. It's pretty simple.
Right. Like they started newsletters recently, and I find I get a lot more people on my LinkedIn newsletter than I do on my MailChimp newsletter, bigger open rate. So that's a happy thing.
It is a happy thing, yes. Yeah, I did try to start a newsletter, but I'm not a blogger, so I find it, what am I going to write about this month? I don't know.
And that's another one of those things. If you're going to do one, you have to be consistent.
Absolutely.
Either, I suggest either weekly or every other week, but not once every couple of months. That's
Yeah, I was
not
doing mine
good
monthly,
for
and
people.
yeah, I just thought, well, yeah, I was running out of ideas, and I've probably got, heaps and heaps and heaps, and just yeah, I just sort of get a mental block. So newsletters can be beneficial for your business, obviously if you keep them consistent.
They're wonderful. There's people that I expect to see their newsletters and know when they're coming out and read them. One person I know does. She knows SEO and I don't. So it's always great to see what her ideas are. There's a couple of other people that just keep up with all the LinkedIn changes, which is important for me to know. So
Yeah.
they could be very valuable.
If I guess if you're that way inclined, and I suppose if you could, well, my podcast, for instance, I mean, I've got a plethora of ideas, and I could repurpose the videos anytime and just take out all the information from those. So yeah, I probably should make more of an effort to get my newsletter up and going and get more people
Just
interested in what's
had a
happening.
thought. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
So you do interviews with people all the time? Do a weekly newsletter or a bi-weekly newsletter about some ideas, tips you've learned from your experts.
Plan, Mary. Why didn't I think of that?
Because we always have better ideas from other people. Sometimes you're too close to see it.
Absolutely. Mary, where can people find you if they would like to work with you and want to know more about you?
LinkedIn is a great place to find me because, hey, my newsletter is there. Hopefully my profile looks good. Otherwise, I'm not doing a very good job. But it is the best place to find out more about me and to follow me and find out, you will learn tips about LinkedIn from following me.
Yeah, and if they want to work with you, would LinkedIn be the best place, or a website
That would,
perhaps?
yes, I really easy to reach out there. I also have a website, marywooVA.com, and Gmail is marywooVA@gmail.com. So there's
Perfect.
lots of ways to find me. I am not very well hidden on social media.
Well, that's where it has to be, isn't it? Otherwise, you can't do your job.
Yes, and I want to do my job. And I work with
Absolutely.
people with group classes. I work with people individually, and then I have a group program, which is just some checklists and check-ins. Hey guys, don't forget, it's the end of the month. Have you checked your analytics lately?
Yeah, I never check mine.
Where are you getting the most people from?
Yeah, well, maybe I did have a question about using the paid version of LinkedIn rather than the free version. Is there any benefit to using the paid version?
If you really want to be able to send cold messages to people, the paid version works for that. But people don't like to get cold messages, so they don't really read them. I always suggest that people make sure that their contact information is front and center everywhere on LinkedIn. So if somebody who is not a connection to you wants to reach out to you, they can find you.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I have got the paid version and I've had it for a number of years and have legacied it at a certain level, and I'm never going to complain about the level I'm at. But it's
No,
very good.
I should have stayed. I should have stayed at the paid level. I would have got a legacy as well, but unfortunately I didn't. And now I find it's really, really expensive.
It's like, I think roughly about $50 a month is the cheapest to get in at. 50 US
Yeah,
dollars a
we're
month.
123 here. It's a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money. And yeah, so I just don't use it. Mary, just any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our audience today?
One of the things I like to tell all my people on any social media is to be yourself, because everyone else is taken. People are going to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so letting them know who you are. Don't necessarily take pictures of your whiskeys and put those up on LinkedIn, but let people know who you are. And then the other tip I have for people is to be consistent. I love when people are doing newsletters, but if they know they're not going to do it but once every few months, then no, don't do it. So,
Absolutely.
doing
Yeah.
things consistently is really a good idea, so that
But that's
people
with all social media platforms though, isn't it? Consistency is key.
and then track. I know people that have a lot of views or engagements on TikTok or Instagram, but if those aren't turning into clients, then it's not really of value to be there. So find
No.
out where your clients are coming from.
Yes, that is very crucial, and it's something that I need to be better at. I might have to get someone to do that for me.
Where are they coming from? Okay,
Yeah,
we'll go there more.
that's it. Mary, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for your patience today. We've had a few interruptions, and I really do appreciate the time that you've taken to be here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.